Welcome to the Afro Pinoy podcast.
What's up?
You know what's a good thing to talk about?
What?
It's a controversial topic in the Philippines right now. It's divorce being legal.
Ooh, oh yeah, I've been seeing that. I've been
It's a
seeing that
hot
on social
topic
media.
though,
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of my friends on Facebook have been sharing it, and I'm like, oh, what's going on again? What's going on? So what's the real stuff though?
Um,
What do you think Filipinos are tending towards more? Like, what's your take on divorce? Do you think?
I think they should legalize it. I mean, I agree because there's a lot of situations where they got married and then turns out they grew like not apart, but
Out of love.
not out of love though. They just started to have different perspectives and they feel like, oh, it's not gonna work out if we're married. Or they both want to do different stuff, right? So they're not at the same point anymore. So of course they're not in that mindset when they got married, but after let's say years they found out like, oh, this is actually what I want to do, this is what I want to do, and then the other person feels the same, but since they're married, they're like trapped in that law that we have to stay together. But instead of like allowing people to have like second chances or like more opportunities in life, you're robbing it from them that, oh, you can't make mistakes. I mean, we're human, we make mistakes all the time. So I think it's going to be very, very beneficial when the government allows people to like have another take, right? But I mean, for people who are saying that, oh, people might uh what do you call it, abuse the fact that they can just divorce. I mean, it's their money. It's like their life. Like you can just like let them do what they want, right? I mean, if they want to divorce someone 4 times, I mean, so it's not like it's your life, right?
Yeah.
So, but also when it comes to like I said before, like there's a lot of cases that people are being abused, women and men are being abused just because they're in this law. Because there's a lot of cases in the Philippines that they get abused physically, verbally, and even harassment happens. And I think even the lawyers in the Philippines are saying that most of their cases are about like, what do you call that, abuse.
Yeah.
Most of the time there are the ones who are abused, but of course there's also situations where it's the guy that is being abused. So it's
You know what it is?
what?
Men speaking up about abuse, it's a step on their ego. So if there are more men that have been abused in marriages, men would not talk about it. It's just like cheating. Most men would not come out on social media and say, this girl cheated on me, because that's gonna step on their ego.
That's true. Yeah.
It's only girls that come out on social media and say, this guy did this guy. That's why there are more situations of, because for a girl, if a guy cheats, she can easily say it and
Yeah.
nothing happens to her ego.
Yeah.
If a man comes out and says his wife beat him or his wife cheated on him, it's a
It
step
looks
on
like
his ego.
he's weak, right?
Yeah, so men don't talk about it. That's why it feels like men are not abused or men are not being cheated on. But in real sense of it, men are being cheated on. But they don't talk about it because it's a shame on them.
Are you like saying yes or no to it being legal?
What,
Like
divorce?
the divorce, yeah.
I'm more on the traditional end of things, where I feel like divorce, marriage, religion, education
Yeah.
were all created by the same people who enslaved our forefathers. Monogamy is not, it's not the natural setup of humanity. Okay, it was something that was imposed on people via religion and education.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have a problem with someone staying faithful to one person and building, but I feel like the natural human instinct is not wired for monogamy. The whole point of divorce is because of the setup of monogamy, where I have to stay faithful to this person,
Yeah.
even when the love or the feeling has expired, even if he's beating me up, even if he's abusing me, even if she is doing this to me. Monogamy says stay there.
Yeah.
So if divorce is also being created by the same people who brought monogamy to tell you that you can now do this, pay pay your way out of the marriage.
Yeah.
It still boils down to the government benefiting from all these things, because at the end of the day,
I mean, if it become legal, right, it's not gonna be cheap.
obviously,
It's gonna be expensive.
obviously,
Yeah.
and you know who benefits from monogamy? When you do a court marriage, you have to pay.
Yeah.
And the government has to certify that, oh, these people are married. So you give the government the access to your personal private life.
Yeah.
So the government is the one who stamps you as worthy to live together. And the government is now the ones who are going to stamp you as people who are divorced. And the lawyers are getting their cut. The government is getting the cut
Yeah.
from everything. So it still boils down to the same system of benefits.
I mean, they should be aware of what marriage actually is. Some are probably just like, oh, I'm gonna be marrying this person. It's gonna be like all happy ever after, like, and they don't know that it's actually a start of something. For them, it's the goal. Like once I'm married,
It's the destination.
that's it, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually like once you're married, you're gonna realize like, oh, I actually have to put up with his shit. I have to put up with her shit, and I can't just escape and say, okay, I don't want to do this. But since you're married and the law says you have to stay together, that's when people are gonna be like, oh, I actually signed up for this. Like I didn't know there's no pause or break to being married to someone,
Yeah.
right?
There's no pause. That's
Yeah.
that's the way to see it.
Yeah.
That's because I think divorce is very popular right now because most people marry because of love. Okay?
I mean, that's the only thing that they're thinking. Like, okay, I love her. I'm gonna marry
Love
her.
is
Yeah.
it's just a momentary feeling
Yeah.
that is very intense that slowly fades away.
That's true.
You have to service it and service it, but even at that, it's not as fresh as the first time. But people marry because they love. Even the Bible itself says,
Yeah.
love your wife or love who you marry, not marry who you love.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I don't read the Bible.
No, I mean, growing up from that system, you realize that the Bible is encouraging you to love the person you marry. The
Yeah.
Bible never says marry who you love.
Okay.
Okay?
I mean, that makes sense though.
So I feel like divorce is prominent because people are marrying because of love. And after 1 year of sleeping with the same person, kissing the same person, hugging the same person, going out, eating with the same person, that feeling fades away. The biggest relationships in the world, or the biggest celebrities that have the money, that have the everything to take a girl everywhere, they're not in their relationship today. Down to even celebrities in the Philippines who are the love team, they're no longer in their love setup. It tells you that that shit doesn't define a relationship. A relationship works because of respect and hierarchy. Respect and hierarchy. If a system is created where this marriage was built on respect, it will be hard for it to crash. I'll explain. A relationship or marriage is like a business. It's like a company, actually. And if you build company out of love, that company is going to crash.
Yeah.
If the CEO of the biggest company in this world is coming to the office and hugging everyone, hugging all his staff, oh, I love you, bro, I love you, that company would not stand the test of time. What makes the biggest setup, company, or enterprise successful is respect and hierarchy. You know that this person is this and this is me here. And you are aware of that. This person here is not coming here and giving you a kiss every day, and patting you with love. This is the hierarchy that makes the biggest of companies stand. And when you see marriage in that way, where you're like, it's a system where there's a leader, there's an assistant, and there are products, which are the kids. But what did these colonial masters come and do? They came here and told you
It's wrong.
about education,
Yeah.
told you about religion that preaches one man, one wife, when in fact, the Bible and the Quran, there's nowhere where there's any monogamous marriage. There's no part of the Bible
Really? I didn't
where
know
one
that.
man got married to one woman. There's no monogamous marriage in the Bible. Back then, the system is, my father has a land, and by the time I'm getting to 20, he's going to give me my own land for me to do my own thing and plant my own crops and be fruitful on my own. And at the end of the day, they give me this very young girl who is very fruitful and
Very young.
yeah, that's it. I'd explain, you're laughing. But in the real sense of it, our ancestors got married to girls when they were young and at the peak level of fruitfulness. Because when a girl's hormones starts telling her, do this, have sex, you need someone to touch your body, you need this. They catch you at a very young age, so you avoid promiscuity. At 21, you get married, for example, and the only man you know is this man, is the first person to do this to you. Every crazy thing, this is the man who has done it to you. That makes your life a little bit organized. But what does colonialism do? Give you education. So you go to school, high school, and that's where you have your first sex from a classmate or someone. You go to college and sleep around, sleep around, sleep around, and that's where contraceptive, condoms, and everything come in play. Or the ones who are refusing to sleep around, that's where they have access to dildos because they're not in their family. You know, so this system comes and corrupts the girl child, and at 25, 26, 27, 28, when she's thinking about marriage, she's already loaded with baggage from different men. Okay, and that has contaminated her immediately. But whereas the original system was girls getting married early 20s, or let's say in their teens, as fresh as they are, so they evolve and raise their children cleanly, you know.
Well, like I said before, like, there's a lot of cases that people are being abused, women and men are being abused just because they're in this law saying that they're married. They can't even get out of it. But since divorce is an option, it would help them get out of that toxic setup, right? So for me, it's good that it can be an option. But I'm not saying that if you feel like, oh, I think I can't deal with this guy, already you divorce him, right? I think it's good that it can be like the last option if you feel like you can't actually be with this person anymore. And also, do you know, since it's not legal in the Philippines, but it's legal in other countries, there's some cases where if they married a foreigner, the foreigner can divorce, but the Filipino stays married. So the foreigner can start their life again, but the Filipinos are stuck because they're basically married technically. So it's just kind of unfair. And I also feel like it's a new step to actually prioritizing the well-being of like the citizens, because now they can have like the option to restart their lives, right? And I mean, that's it though. That's why I agree with it being legalized. How about you?
I mean, you know my take on this. I just crave a different system that doesn't involve the government or doesn't involve the church in intimacy. If there's a system that lets you be with someone without anyone coming between you, like the government or marriage or church,
Wow.
that would be amazing. That's my take. If there's something like that, whatever country offers that, that's where I'm gonna go to. Because the
Yeah.
whole idea of the government having access to your love life through the law or the church having access to your love life, I just don't fancy it that much. Okay,
Yeah.
so
You know what's funny? I think Filipinos are triggered about this being legalized. It's because they think that once it's legalized, they're automatically gonna divorce their partner. But it's just the reading comprehension, right? The understanding of why divorce is an option.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're saying, oh, it's legal, you should get divorced now. It's
You have
not
to
that.
do it.
No, it's an option for people who need
Yeah.
it, right?
that there's divorce as an option now doesn't mean that, oh, so this is the way. When my husband does this, I should
Yeah.
divorce him. But in the real sense of it, anything that can be fixed can be fixed. Okay, if you can actually fix the marriage, you can fix it. Okay, it's not like something just goes wrong now and the next option is thank God there's divorce. I'll just divorce you now. That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
If you can really work it or work on that
Yeah.
stuff and make it work, great.
That's
Okay?
why I said like divorce should be like the last
Yeah.
option. As long as you're not being abused or what do you call it, taken advantage of, right?
Yeah.
If you can still, I mean, it can be a good option.
At the end of the day, it still boils down to why you're getting married. Okay,
Yeah.
are you getting married to this person because it's a poverty escape plan? Okay, if
Yeah,
you
I
get
agree.
married for that purpose, everything I'm saying here is purely opinionated. It has nothing to do with, there's no rule to this.
Yep.
There's no formula to this. I'm just saying my opinion. What I'm saying is not the correct thing. what she's saying is
Purely
not the correct thing.
opinionated.
It's just purely opinionated. I know,
Yeah.
and thanks for watching, guys. See you in some other video. We're
Thanks,
just chilling.
guys.
Hopefully, we can do this more and talk about other
Suggest
issues.
if you have any topics that you want us to talk about.
Yeah,
Comment it
it'll be so
down.
much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun to talk.